Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. And welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site 42 and Head Containment Specialist. And as always, I have, for 5.5 months and counting, daily opened my office door to you, the Foundation staff, for a short time, perhaps 30 minutes to 3 hours depending on the day, for me to answer your questions about the inner workings about the SCP Foundation. Whether it be about the anomalies we contain, the staff who does the containing, the groups of interest who, they're not really that fond of the whole containing thing, but hey, what do they know? And of course, hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. I am here for the next 1 hour to educate, elucidate, and illuminate you to the secrets of the Foundation. But before we begin, let me start at the top here with Junior Researcher Sally. Congratulations on being our first chatter of the day. How exceptionally punctual of you. We appreciate that greatly. Besides you, let me say hello to Dr. Puppeteer, Legendary Doge, Senior Researcher Frogman, Kilowolf, Chicken Man, Dr. Gullivan, Aoki, Dark Duality, Zombie Cat, Dr. Puppeteer, Scarlet Fox, Researcher Voidell. All of you who I've just named, thank you for being here so punctually. And also, thank you for being members. We appreciate your efforts in the battle against the white names. Meanwhile, Goober, Human, Pinecone, The Plague Doctor, and Gubby Parlor Archer. Welcome to today's stream. Thank you for being punctual, and also, thank you for being here just for being you today. North Void Novus, thank you for very quickly throwing in our first donation of today's stream. Thank you for that first donation, and make sure to grab yourself a plate of fries on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, the Rake. Not an actual rake, but a non-humanoid. Yes, I am familiar with the cryptid, thank you. I work for the SCP Foundation. I know a little bit about the multiverse of spooky, thank you. I'm just being sardonic, don't worry. Has been spotted in North Carolina. Is the SCP Foundation doing anything to contain it? Well, technically speaking, the Rake, this cryptid, falls out of the SCP Foundation's purview. Although our multiversal variant of the Rake, known as SCP-096, is well kept in containment, so you don't have to worry about that at least. Jonathan Peters, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream on your way past the commissary. Flavor of your choice. Dr. Sherman, Moon Knight unleashed some random bullshit and breach containment. He's going to steal all the ketamine on Earth. That's indeed very frustrating, but listen, We've got a foolproof plan to contain Moon Knight in this scenario. What I need you to do is I need you to send a prayer to Khonshu that says that we have contained Dracula and it has Moon Knight's $20. Then we will soon have a Moon Knight back in containment. Don't you worry. Dr. Cullivan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a nice slice of key lime pie on your way past the commissary. How was the Dr. Pepper pie yesterday? Oh my word. It was so fluffy. And you know, as a Dr. Pepper fiend myself, I was right about the flavor there. So thank you for your generous baking skills. Moon Knight's already here. Damn, he really wants that $20. What did I say? Foolproof containment stratagems from your head site director and containment specialist. I'm doing my job for a reason. I have achieved this rank through my pristine containment record. Thank you. Thank you. When are we loading cannons, Doctor? Well, I will tell you this. We will be loading our cannons as soon as we get to the main event of today's, well, coffee break. So you see, I was inspired by, is that Nuka-Cola? A close researcher Voidell. This is a Nuka-Cola Quantum. You see, I was just about to say, we had a little bit of a incursion, a multiversal incursion, and one of our people has come from a parallel universe where, let's just say, the nuclear arms race did not go very well. And so, yes, I was able to obtain a small supply of Nuka-Cola Quantum, which, quite the beverage. I can feel the nuclear power coursing through me. And yes, to whomever asked, I did open that with my arm, Zombie Cat. That is a stupid human trick that I am quite familiar with when it comes to twist-offs. You can literally look into, well, first you can just rewind the video to when I did that, and you can see how I pressed it into my arm and twisted to open the twist-off. A.A. Blackwood, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service in the battle against the White Names. Meanwhile, so, yes, by having this new supply of Nuka-Cola Quantum in my possession, as well as various other ephemera from the wasteland, let me just say, like, perhaps a certain courier will spend a longer time than usual looking for a platinum chip that I now have in my possession. Could turn useful later in negotiations with Mr. House. But anyways, I decided that, you know what, it's about time our Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e. chat, got a little more familiar with the SCP Foundation's multiversal excursions, which is why today we are going to look into the Canon Hub, a hub of the different canons of the SCP Foundation. You see, there's a whole mantra about how the SCP Foundation has no canon. But as you will see on the thumbnail of today's stream, that is just not the case. And to quote the Canon Hub page, which I used as the thumbnail today, the idea that there is no canon is a bit silly at times. It's not that we don't have any, it's that we have a multitude which touch, cross, and dip into each other. It's up to you, as the reader, to decide what you believe and what you embrace as the heart of the universe. That doesn't mean, though, that authors lack intent or design, and collaboration is the heart of innovation. Senior Researcher Frogman, I refer you to the dash J of There Is No Canon for your sick puns. Good amigo. SCP-1132, as I will have you... No, that's just head cannons. That's just your cannon turns into a head, and you can launch things with your head cannon. SCP-1132-J is just people's heads turning into cannons. Let's not go to that place. That universe is silly, and I don't like it. Zombie Cat, I know little to nothing about cannons. Well, that's good. That's the kind of thing we're going to talk about today. You see, there is, on the Canon Hub of the SCP Wiki, 49 cannons that are logged in the SCP universe. And of course, there are also the unmaintained cannons, of which there are 7. And those are cannons that exist, but aren't currently being shepherded. Although they are open to be claimed by any SCP authors who are willing to jump in and take the helm of the ship with the cannons. That's a lot of nautical themes. So, let's talk about the cannons of the SCP Wikiverse. For instance, something that you will all be likely familiar with in the canons of the SCP universe. Although it is one of the unmaintained canons, it's one that everybody who has read the site is pretty much... it's pretty much what everyone gets introduced to the Foundation via. It's a canon called LOL Foundation. LOL Foundation. Now, LOL Foundation is essentially a canon made up to reflect the early era of the SCP Wiki when the senior researcher author avatars were running amok. And so this is not the original version of the Wiki where everything was chaos on a fan fiction site ran by former 4chaners who were having fun with their immature author avatars running around causing chaos. Instead, LOL Foundation is a canon trying to take that era of the silly and constrain it to a kind of better writing style that still fits the, oh, things are really jokey and humorous era of things. Let's see. Let me give you a little introduction to what we're looking at here. I like your shirt. Well, thank you, Jacob YouTube. My favorite intern of the day. This is a brand new shirt, and I am glad you enjoy it. I like the colors. So this is infamous, excellent SCP artist Sunny Clockwork's illustration for the LOL Foundation Canon Hub. And essentially, let me give you a dramatic reading. Once there was a time where we thought mankind would never go back to living in fear. Not anymore. That was a time in the past where a total containment failure was a matter of concern beyond office cooler talk, and when the deaths of thousands was a tragedy rather than an achievement. This is a world where one statement displeasing an egotistical few can get your ass booted out of reality. Welcome to a world without logic. A place of much pain, torment, with an extra helping of shock and awe. This is a foundation that has failed without knowing, where inmates run the asylum, and the last man has flown over the cuckoo's nest. This is the land of LOL Foundation. What the hell happened? Once upon a time, there was a man named Fritz. Good old Fritz was a reality bender, and one who knew what he was doing. The Foundation, being the folks they are, made a good effort to catch and contain him, but as the story goes, either somebody made a mistake or made a deal. Maybe a little of both. Either way, armed with level 4 knowledge, Fritz scooped up everything we thought we knew, twisted, wormed, and cracked the very fabric of reality over his knee. Most of his jailers died in an instant, but some were to survive, in a way. A few men and women became reality benders without the awareness coming with the power. Their will folded an apocalyptic event into a VK-class reality restructuring event, where the anomalous became normal and everything right is wrong again. Now the world is a product of their minds. They control the Foundation, and in fact the rest of the known universe, by pure force of ego. This is Lull Foundation with consequences, but of course they'll never be felt by the staff themselves. Maybe a couple hundred researchers get killed, or you bomb the Statue of Liberty. But that's life. You just deal with it. So, the author avatars are reality benders, and they have the entire SCP Foundation and the world and the universe at their whims. Things get a bit bananas. So yes, that is the first of the canons we're talking about today, and it is quite silly. Someone said, didn't SCP-6747 cause the Lull Foundation canon? And that I'm not familiar with, although I do know it is within the canon. It is listed here among them. So yes, at least it is part of the universe. Is this the beginning of Lull Foundation? Well, I don't see that info right out the gate, but anyways, you can look more into that yourself. Give me some answers when you find them. Coming back to chat to check in. Refreshing the chat, checking in. Why is the stream late, Dr. Sherman? Not complaining, just asking. Well, when all of the cannons were loaded and fired, there was a bit of a shock throughout the site, and it caused some of the tech in my camera kit to become damaged. So I had to do some replacements before I could start today. Quite simple, quite simple. Meanwhile, you know, the various departments are getting back in line. We only had a couple minor breaches. No big deal. No big deal. Medical is cleaning up. They still have Steve writhing on his cot. We'll see if he wakes up in the next couple days or something. I don't know. Still need to question him about what happened with that whole scenario. A.A. Blackwood, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a newly minted member. Make sure to grab yourself a piece of birthday cake, because I guess it's your birthday. Happy birthday yesterday to you. That's a very good reason to miss stream, so I hope you had a good birthday celebration. For messages and questions in the chat, but the birthday wishes are taking them up. So, Mr. Scum, yes, you missed the earlier explanation of why I'm in possession of a small cache of Nuka-Cola Quantum, as well as various other ephemera from a certain nuclear irradiated wasteland. All right, so while we're continuing talking about canons, let's see if there's another canon that makes people, that is one of the most popular. What's the most popular canon overall? Canons that people would be interested in finding. Oh, of course, one of the most important canons, because it's a term that we use for everything else in the Foundation. The Broken Masquerade. The Broken Masquerade is a world where the SCP Foundation was revealed to the general public, where all of the anomalous was revealed to the general public. And that means, well, secrecy's over. So all we can do is just, well, do what we can to secure and contain and protect when everyone is now in the dark with us. And so you have an interview between Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Clef. I'm just saying that it was the right thing to do at the time. It might not be the right thing to do right now. It might not be the right thing to do again for quite some time. But right then, it was the right thing to do. Are you saying, Mr. Clef? That's Doctor. Apologies, Doctor. Are you saying, Dr. Clef, that these people deserve to die? Not at all, Oprah. I'm saying at the time, we had no other choice if we wanted to understand how this device worked. Through that understanding, we were able to hide the object from the public and preserve more people's lives than were lost. The good of the many, Dr. Clef? The good of the many, Oprah. And now that the veil of secrecy has been lifted, we do things differently. But we still have to do things. Have to study. But why, Doctor? Korea. And so this is the universe where we have to make propaganda videos because Korea disappeared. And now that we don't know where Korea is, the whole world figured out something is wrong. And so the Broken Masquerade, oh boy, does it have a large list of articles within it, but they all are around the same thing. Korea's gone. The Masquerade's broken. Now what? And so this is the universe where I have to do propaganda because people need to know that the Foundation has things on lock. Despite the thing that we very much kind of don't. Can't we just make them forget that Korea exists? Senior Researcher Frogman, I appreciate your thought process. And although we were able to disguise the fact that everything went from black and white to color in SCP-8900-EX, that was an extremely subtle amnestic. And it was a subtle situation. The disappearing of a whole country and all the people within it is a little stronger than the amnestics we had on hand. I'm currently running on 2 hours of sleep. Are there any SCPs that could get rid of my need to sleep? Not without killing you. So we're going to avoid those. I see through my notifications that a Ko-Fi donation has come in. Dark Duality, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. And thank you for going through the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, since it takes a little less in fees than YouTube does. So we appreciate the added effort. Make sure to grab yourself a personal pizza on your way past the commissary. In that case, keep an eye out for a man in a checkered suit, and no, it is not Kincaid, but some former tribal man. Cannot remember his name right now. Also, except for one of the Brotherhood of Steel is some a-holes. They won't share their toys. Well, yes, that's why we respect the Brotherhood of Steel. They're trying to keep anomalous technology out of the hands of the public. I am down. The Brotherhood of Steel and the Institute, good friends of the Foundation, I tell you what. Desk, you are correct in your questioning. In the Canon Hub, we have a canon by the name of Aces and Eights. And Aces and Eights is a canon where two things are true. Number one, there is no SCP Foundation. And B, everything is cowboy times. And so, yes, given the scenario there, you would imagine those cowboy types are in a world of trouble. I have seen some pretty difficult times in Riddle, Wyoming. And yes, if you're out in the Old West in the Aces and Eights canon, you're going to be dealing with the frontier as wild as it ever was. Now, here are some things we know about the Aces and Eights canon as listed, because the Aces and Eights canon follows one single rule, just like the Gold Rush. Whoever's the first person to write a factoid into the canon, it is now canon. And so SCP-682 is the 682nd Cavalry. SCP-008 is a zombie apocalypse. It's still a zombie apocalypse. SCP-173 is a young Native American man. The Plague Doctor is a doctor wandering the Old West. Bobble the Clown is in the Aces and Eights canon as some sort of traveling clown entity. The class of 76, as in you don't recognize the bodies in the water in that canon, is the Harvard class of 1876. Dr. Sumerian is a newspaper editor back in the day. Marshall Carter in Dark runs the National Detective Agency. Scranton, Nevada is SCP-3001. I do not want to go to Scranton, Nevada. Bad things probably happen there. Iris Thompson, journalist for Saloon 19, has 5 stories in the Aces and Eights canon. People really like SCP-105 in this canon. Honestly, I've never looked to see if Clef is in Aces and Eights, you say? Alto Clef is the legendary bounty hunter Ace Cliff. In the tale, Cowboys from Hell, I'm Broken. So yes, Dr. Clef does exist in Aces and Eights, for your information. Also, SCP-2721-Lord, the more stern and taciturn of the trans-satellite anomaly, is a weird little talking dog in the tale So We Sang. Interesting. So yes, all of these factoids I'm giving you are available on the Aces and Eights hub page. They're buried under they're buried at the bottom under a tab called Open Pandora's Box. So there you can see all of these factoids for the canon of Aces and Eights. And then if something's not claimed, you can write your own SCP tail in the Aces and Eights canon and make your own headcanon literally canon. Go nuts, people. The gold rushes. There's gold there in them hills. Check this real quick. Okay. Dark Duality, thank you for donating twice more, but to the Super Chat this time. Korea disappeared before and after the Squid Games. Well, I would understand that the Squid Games series took place in year of our Lord 2021 in at least my universe, but the Squid Games would have been going on for a long time before that. So even if we assume that the Squid Games had been going on for a while, the next question becomes, when did Korea get blown up? So when did Broken Masquerade happen, SCP? What is the date of Korea getting blown up? It looks like 2013 is the year that the Masquerade broke in that universe. So that means that you're dealing with, there must have been at least 8 years of Squid Games for the Squid Games to happen before Korea vanished. Oh, and by the way, let's remember. North Korea specifically is the Korea that vanished. South Korea is fine in the Broken Masquerade. It's North Korea that went kaput. So let's Squid Game can still be happening in the Broken Masquerade. Meanwhile, you also said, I meant share their toys with me. Well, yes, the Brotherhood of Steel both is a-holes that they won't share their toys, which we, again, appreciate. And someone wanted to point out that, oh, the only anomalous tech in Fallout is the alien weapons. Everything else is non-anomalous. But if you take that tech to another universe, then it becomes anomalous. Because I don't know about you, but my universe does not have fusion-powered automobiles. That's anomalous to my universe. The Mr. Handy, the Mr. Gutsy, all anomalous by my universe's standards. Remember, normalcy is relative. And who makes that decision? We do. The Foundation. Rachel Bateman, thank you for both your first donation to today's stream and for becoming a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service, especially the research you'll be doing in the battle against the White Names. Make sure to grab yourself a cup of Java on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, what's your plan after this SCP stuff? After it stops working and you got to do something else? Well, even in the Broken Masquerade, the Foundation still efforts to protect the people of Earth from anti-normalcy scenarios. So, I'm going to tell you this. Our mission statement is not likely to end anytime soon. The only universe I'm familiar with where the SCP Foundation disbanded is in the tale Quiet Days, in which just one day, everything anomalous became non-anomalous all at once. And it's a very, very melancholic story. If you want to hear our reading here on the channel, we have a reading. That is a woof. That's a rough one. Dr. Sherman, are you related to the Civil War General William Tecumseh Sherman? Well, I haven't done my genealogy to check, but... And in fact, now you're making me wonder if we have W.T. Sherman in the SCP database. You never know with historical figures in the anomalous. After all, we're all quite familiar with Benjamin Franklin's magical wish-granting penis. Him and the other founding fathers had a lot of anomalies related to them. William Tecumseh Sherman is listed in the Pentagram Papers. In conclusion, as per Pentagram Foundation agreement, the Foundation is permitted to survey the site of UE 104-312, extract any paratechnology located on the premises, and reverse engineer the aforementioned paratechnology if it in fact exists. In the event that paratechnology is located within UE 104-312 and has been determined to have been placed at UE 104-312 maliciously, the Foundation pledges to collaborate with the Pentagram and swiftly and succinctly retaliate against this unprovoked attack on the sovereign nation of the United States of America. Signed, 054, William, 054 signed this alongside J9 Director of Pentagram, William Tecumseh Sherman. So an agreement between 054 and William Tecumseh Sherman was signed with General Sherman being the J9 Director of Pentagram. That is the only reference to that individual in the SCP archives. Good to know. Coming back to chat. Dr. Cullivan, thank you for donating again. I just took a glance at Ship in a Bottle Hub. Oh. Oh my. I'll drink to that. Has anyone in this chat heard of the Ship in a Bottle Hub? So what had happened was, this is not fictional. This is real life, out of character, word of God. On Tumblr, an SCP author wrote some fan fiction of Dr. Clef and Dr. Kondraki dating. Dr. Clef being asexual, Dr. Kondraki being a loony, horny old man, and them having a romantic relationship of besties getting together despite, not having the right sexual compatibility. They just knew each other for so long that it decided to be their relationship. And some person on Tumblr, some other person, got really butthurt about it. They flamed this SCP author, they trolled them, they sent them death threats because no, you can't make the SCP fictional Doctor Men gay. I will not allow it. Me, a non-SCP author with no say in the matter. And when this happened, the author of Dr. Clef, the creator of Dr. Clef, who we refer to as Author Clef, They saw this fight happening, and they wrote a sequel tale to the original to piss off the homophobe. And then we all, the whole SCP Wiki, went, oh, we're dunking on a homophobe? Let's write some more stories. And so now, if you go to the Canon hub, known as Ship in a Bottle, then you will see how many stories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 SCP tales about the relationship between Dr. Clef and Dr. Kondraki. But no, that's not enough. That's not enough. The point of the original tale and the crux incident, the inciting incident, is, as I told you, Dr. Clef, asexual, not interested in physical thing. Dr. Kondraki, horny old man, needs to do something with that energy. Dr. Clef walks into Kondraki's apartment's bathroom after getting an emergency phone call from Dr. Kondraki. Clef's walking in, pontificating. Kondraki wouldn't call me about something like this. What would this be about? What am I walking into? And when Clef finally enters the bathroom, it is that Dr. Kondraki's penis is stuck in an Aquafina water bottle. And so now, half of the stories following that are everybody in the Foundation making fun of Kondraki for this. Because you know, word gets around the water cooler. The Aquafina water cooler. Oh no, desk. Oh no, desk. Not only did Clef have a jolly laugh, but Clef called Kondraki's son to tell him about it. Draven, I gotta tell you what your dad's up to. The absolute bastard. And so that's why the canon is called Ship in a Bottle. Ship in a Bottle. And finally, the last event that I'll tell you about in this canon before we move on is that Dr. Gears was forced to come on site and give a safety demonstration, a safety presentation to the entire site with a slide projector to teach people not to do that. I see people in the chat saying things like, I'm a minor, or this is not the kind of content I'm here for. I gotta warn you, the SCP Foundation is an adult fandom. This is your warning to leave. Because what I just told you was tame compared to the things in the SCP fandom. There's a reason you can't join the wiki before you turn 18. It's rated R, people. It is a horror website. It is an adult website. If you can't go to a rated R movie, you should not be in the SCP Foundation fandom. Be warned. So yes, welcome to the Ship in a Bottle canon. I highly recommend it. And in fact, at least 2 or 3 of the stories are recorded on this channel for your audio listening pleasure. We have a playlist for Ship in a Bottle canon. Has anyone told you your shirt is cool today, Dr. Sherman? Well, yes. Thank you, Zerdrin. This is a new shirt, and I'm glad people like it. I like the colors. I like the gradient. Also, Hunter, Chinsarea, and Nobo. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Also, remember, in this case, even when I'm talking about penises, I'm not talking about pornography. I'm talking about like 40-year-old virgin Judd Apatow movie dick jokes. So it's not as if we're looking at porn here, people. We're just, now that doesn't mean there's not that on the wiki too. Oh my. Oh, the trauma. Anyway, Site 42 staff, here is your time check. We are 14 minutes left in stream. 14 minutes left in stream. And yes, A.A. Blackwood, you can hear the annoyed in asexual in every word right now. Ugh. Whoever that was who was asking about 610 tails, if there are, I don't know about those ones. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again, twice. What about Benjamin Franklin's magical wish-granting penis? Yes. Which one? Is that SCP-33 something? SCP Poor Richard. SCP-3313. Coincidentally, SCP-3313, which is Benjamin Franklin's magical wish-granting penis, that is one article away from SCP-3312, which is codename Oh Whoa What's This? And it's the anomalous furry cognitohazard. So just so you know, thematically speaking, Oh Whoa What's This? And Benjamin Franklin's magical wish-granting penis are one item designation away from each other in the wiki. It's just appropriate, I guess. Is that why Kendraki died? That is not why Kendraki died. Although dark subject matter abound, yes, Dr. Kendraki did a little bit of the old, but I don't believe it was from embarrassment of the ship in a bottle incident. Aoki, wait, he's dead? Yes, it is mostly fulfilled canon for like the main canon of SCP that Dr. Kendraki at some point. Now that being said, there is no canon and there is no timeline. So wherever you are in your reading is wherever Kendraki is in that story. But oof, are there some very deep and dark stories about that, especially because, as I said, Benjamin Kendraki has a son, Draven Kendraki. Draven Kendraki is the partner of researcher James Talleyrand from SCP-3999. So, Draven is surrounded by people going through it. Woof. No, don't hurt Talleyrand more. Ah. Oh my gosh. Senior Researcher Frogman, was that you? Yes. If you are unfamiliar with this tale, I mean, and if you can handle it, then I highly recommend it. I just gotta find the name real quick. It's one of those long names. Researcher Talleyrand. Articles. The trouble with amnestics. The trouble with amnestics is a hard read about the aftermath of SCP-3999 on James Talleyrand and Draven. That one is a doozy. And I'm trying to see if there's another one. I feel like there was one more that had more of a name to it. But anyways, Senior Researcher Frogman, the trouble with amnestics is a rough one. But it's 3999, post-399 lore, so you'll probably enjoy that one. Refreshing the chat, refreshing the chat. Yeah, but not too rough? Well, yes, SCP-4521, it's not too rough. Not like 8980 rough. And also not as rough as things are going to be for you. Until you scream anyways. Resurrection is another big-time canon. Oh, are you correct? Desk, aren't you correct? Resurrection is one of the biggest deal canons on the wiki. Because what Resurrection is Resurrection is essentially, back when the SCP Wiki was originally formed, everything was one universal canon. Everything on the wiki had to match canon with everything else. The problem is, too many people got involved, and it got impossible to keep track of. Of course it did. That is when we switched to a there is no canon style of situation. But the Resurrection canon is sort of the trying to make the central storyline of the original wiki happen again. It's one section of the site that's trying to like resurrect the original canon of the SCP Wiki in its early days, which is, whoa, quite an endeavor. But my oh my, are there so many sections and authors involved with this, even to this day. I know Grigori and Harry just wrote a tale about this. Back in 2021, I think. But and there's a new title of it written just this May. So they are doing a lot for that one. Dr. Sherman, what happens if SCP-4521 actually screams? Well then, I will be happy, and testing will conclude on that anomaly. It'll probably save us a lot of budget, so hey, SCP-4521, since you're in the chat right now, why don't you just scream? End our suffering. End your suffering, and scream! And this will all be over! You can end this right now if you just... Anyway. Any tips for dyeing hair? Marker, my tip is finding a good stylist. My stylist, the way they do it, they do some bleaching and some coloring, some treatment, so it stays for a really long time. It fades pretty. I don't know what she does, but she does a good job. Do we have any other Founding Fathers in containment or parts of them? Interesting. Interesting query. SCP. So when we do Poor Richard, SCP-3313, we end up in a scenario where, if I remember correctly, it's George Washington, Ben Franklin. Who else is there? They resurrected George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Alexander Hamilton, and Ben Franklin. But they all escaped and are not in containment. Let me see who else we got. George Washington is in a -J. George Washington utilized SCP-4004 during the Revolutionary War. SCP-2776 is a humanoid automaton bearing an aged likeness to George Washington. So it's a robot of George Washington, but it's not the real one. Meanwhile, what about Thomas Jefferson? You know, it's surprising we don't have more founding fathers in containment, considering how many gods we have in containment from different pantheons. Interesting. Oh, Zerdrin, you are correct. We do currently have more likes than viewers. Congratulations, Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codenamed Signal Boosters, for successfully hitting that like button to the point where we have more likes than viewers, which means the YouTube algorithm is going to pull people into our community, which we can then shunt them off into the SCP Wiki successfully. I appreciate your efforts, Psi-42. Rebel Commander, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some blue milk on your way past the commissary. It wants to scream, but cannot give it up. Sorry. We at the Foundation do not give up. We secure. We contain. We protect. I will secure that scream. I will contain that scream in a tiny little bottle so I can listen to it later. I will protect everyone from that fricking silent-ass tree. You're welcome, staff. Dr. Cullivan, thank you for donating again. As it's almost Halloween, I'll be making a new spooky treat for the commissary. Also more likes than people. Oh, I look forward to it. But of course, here we are at the end of stream. And at the end of stream, as a tradition around these parts, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. Of course, I'm not going to tell you that the SCPs I personally wrote are my favorites. That would be cheating. But if you want to read the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm Site42 Hub and SCP author page on the SCP Wiki. There, you can read the SCPs I have personally written, as well as ones that I've given voice lines to, or audio work, any of that. And while you're there, one tab over, you'll find some links that people seem to find very interesting. That is, if they go through the effort to find them. You know, some people are lazy, but not you guys, Site42. Not you guys. And so while you're there, you can become a Site42 Patreon patron, or a YouTube channel member if you want to donate to us once a month. You can do a Ko-Fi donation, or a YouTube Super Chat if you want to donate to us one time at a time. That's good too. Any direct donation, we appreciate you helping us keep the lights on. And if you can't donate because you're part of the broke gang, trust me, we know what starving artists are in an artist community. Don't get me wrong. But if you want to help us out anyways, just being here in the chat, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting on videos, chatting in the chat, that makes you a valuable member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. And your efforts to helping us school this algorithm, to bringing people into the SCP fandom, kicking and screaming if they must. It's an important job, and we appreciate your valor in doing so. Now, without any further ado, in no particular order, my favorite SCPs are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, 8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. Now, we had a couple donations come in real quick at the last minute. Fandom Theorist, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some flan at the commissary. How do I get good sleep while waking up early? What I always do when I have to cheat, like if I'm traveling, is I will stay up way too late one night. That way I am exhausted the whole day and I want to go to bed early. And then I'll go to bed hella early, get a full night's sleep, and wake up when I want to wake up. And I'll do that to reset my sleeping schedule. So if that works for you, I hope it works. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. Videos of Reagan or Ronnie. Okay, yes, well, Ronald Reagan isn't exactly a founding father, but a president. And we do have some presidents who have anomalies associated with them, if not in containment. So yeah, that's one. Senior Researcher Frog Man, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a tostada on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I made the South Wing a mobile fortress. Did we need a mobile fortress? Interesting. Well, if we need it, then I guess it's good we have one on hand. Puppet Boy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a tuna tartare on your way past the commissary. Sent my fan art in, even wrote a poem for it. A poem? Well, if it's not too long, I can read it alongside the fan art. We'll look into it Friday morning before Fan Art Friday. Wonderful. All right, Site42 staff, that has been all from today's stream. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you had fun and I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and I'll see you in the next stream or video. We're talking away. I don't know what I'm to say, I'll say it anyway. Today is another day to find you shying away. I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. What the hell? What are you talking about here? Wait. Why is the chat screaming? Raven the Hunter and Hoozy, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Site42 staff. The credit song is Take On Me by Aha, but Cullivan, thank you for donating again. Steve is awake? Do we have confirmation of that from medical? Marker is saying Steve is awake. Everyone's saying Steve was awake. Des, do we have that? Holy shit. All right, I'm going to get some answers. I'll see you tomorrow.